Hello and welcome to the SciFirst MovieTalk episode. So in this episode, I'll be discussing the 2003 very alternative dark festive comedy Bad Santa, as directed by Terry Zwigoff. Starring Billy Bob Thornton as Willie and Tony Cox as Marcus, professional thieves masquerading as a shopping mall Santa and elf combo, robbing stores who employ their services over the Christmas period, Bad Santa examines one of their heists and the misery that surrounds Willie as he takes an ever-expanding downward spiral into sex and alcohol addiction. Setting up stall in the Cigarro Mall in festively sweltering Phoenix, Arizona, they look to case the joint and fleece it as per their previous MO. However, Willie's ever-degrading vulgarity starts to threaten the job, as the prudish manager of the mall, Bob Chapesky, as played by John Ritter, starts to become fairly suspicious. Life is sent further into a spin, of course, when he gets involved with Sue, as played by Lauren Graham, who just so happens to have a Santa fetish, and Thurman Merman, as played by Brett Kelly, the young boy in whose house Willie is squatting. Full of wind, alcohol, and basically goodness knows what else, can Willie see through the festive season, pull off the caper, and hold his end up? Well, let's just put it this way. There needs to be a Christmas miracle, and I'm pretty sure Willie is on the bottom of the pile for one of those. It's going to melt your heart. So, on the surface, this film is about as anti-Christmas as you can possibly get. It's cynical, it's deprived, it's perverted. I mean, it takes the premise of Santa and turns it into a cesspit of debauchery, foul language, and alcohol-fueled rants. And I absolutely love it. This is not a kids' film. And no, for those that are easily offended. It's not about Santa per se, so thankfully we don't go in that direction. But the lines could be easily blurred. The title Bad Santa is more than apt, so be fair warned in that respect. The comedy is as dark as it comes. You know, Billy Bob Thornton's character probably starts out as one of the most vilest, most cynical, and downright disgustingly perturbed individuals to ever don a Santa costume. But Thornton's dry wit and straight-laced and frank nature plays very well to the character. His angry portrayal of Willie is what makes this film an absolute must-see, for that reason alone. For as much as I do love a good old festive feel-good movie, absolutely, most are, of course, aimed squarely at kids, primarily. I mean, if Christmas isn't for them, who is it, you know? But it's nice, every now and again, to escape the kind of tinsel and mince pies and that frantic rush towards the festive season, you know, their excitement and the sleepless nights that do prevail on that run-up to Christmas, with something a little bit more squarely aimed at adults. Something still anchored in the festive season, but something we can set aside, just for us, giving us a little kind of pressure release and some much needed adult humour. And this film delivers on that promise from the get-go. It's essentially a character study, indeed more so than the actual caper that the movie is based around, as we do follow Willie's emotional journey through this one particular boozy, debauched Christmas, as he does struggle to kind of drag himself out of the cesspit that he does find himself in, making for one of the most miserable, expletive-driven Santas around, and with one of the most downright disgusting Santa suits that I've ever seen. The comedy is absolutely crass, but works exceedingly well for what the film is trying to deliver. The chemistry between Thornton and Cox is absolutely spot on. The banter is thick, fast, and totally off-kilter. There is little in the way of respect between many of the characters, which gives the movie this kind of witty, but yet deprived way about it. However, at times, and surprisingly, I do find this to be quite a powerful film. It touches on a taboo that is actually personal to a lot of people, and I'm not kind of just talking about seeing Santa swearing, cursing, throwing up, and just generally being an outright bum. What I mean by this is that while many of us are obviously celebrating the festive season with our loved ones, all warm and snuggly and surrounded by cheer, For many, the Christmas holidays are a lonely, depressing time of the year. Here I go with the Gremlins cutout. And this film doesn't shy away from showcasing this darker side of the season. It can indeed be miserable, contrived, and something that many could just assume as let pass them by. And the way the film brings this, Willie's story to the table might indeed bring us more than a few laughs. Of course it does. That's what this film is designed to do. But at the same time highlights just how low and depressed he actually is. It does end up being a story about redemption, and in this, one that brings its own form of Christmas spirit to the table, going somewhere to offer fairly tender moments, perhaps not conventionally placed or thought out, perhaps, but certainly Willie does find himself almost kind of forming an unconventional family of sorts. Completely messed up and twisted, but somehow one which starts to make an impact on him for the better. The relationship that develops between Willie and Thurman is one of the oddest I've kind of ever seen, but it's in its own warped way that they both needed each other at the time that they meet. Brett Kelly is superb as Thurman Merman. His innocence and kind of meek manner against Willie's harsh outlook and mean persona is excellently placed. Thurman's resolve and belief in Willie doesn't waver, no matter what is thrown at him. Quite bizarrely at times, but proving very soft. And providing a very soft, and yielding counterpoint to the movie's more stark, deliberately sharp, and extremely provocative and bleaker outlook on the festive season. Overall, this is certainly an alternative take on the festive season, with plenty of lowbrow humour. Totally crass but fast-paced, completely surreal, and with one of the most debauched, foul-mouthed, quote-unquote Santas that you will ever have the dissatisfaction to meet. It can get very close to hitting a nerve. It doesn't hold back at all, packing more than a few bruising punches. But then, it's not meant to be a nice Christmas movie, and is totally unapologetic in bringing some adult-only humour and a darker take on the season that allows for a bit of escapism, from the normal festive fare. It's pretty much as anti-Christmas as you could probably get, falling short of casting Scrooge himself, but at the same time manages to be oddly festive in its own kind of warped and twisted way. So, that brings me to the end of this episode. Many thanks for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like. Please do hit that subscribe button for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, and other movie-related content. Absolutely loved having you here at SciFirst MovieTalk, and definitely love to have you back. But most of all, just thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.